Like that's
terrible at welding.
I love that little. There's character beats, and also there's another scene I like in this film where Hennessy, dude, I don't think Jason Clarke, the star of what Dawn of the Planet of the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I mean, this guy's a Pet Sematary 2. He's a proper actor. I like when Hennessy, Joan Allen tells him to leave. He doesn't go. He just leaves. Like,
well, you can see in his face though. He's a little surprised and he's a little. I don't want to say disappointed. He wants to be there by her side,
but he doesn't make a scene out of it.
Right. He's professional about it. Yeah.
I know that's something weird to like in this movie, but she wasn't like, get out of here. So she's like, leave. And then he is disappointed.
And take so-and-so with you.
Yeah. Right. And they leave, but he's bummed, but he listens. Like that is it's a little moment I like.
So he's got a lot of those though, even though most of the time we see him separate from Hennessy, right? We see him reveling and mistreating the prisoners when they're onboarding, when they're onboarding Jason Statham into the prison. Just his attitude. He was hoping that Jason Statham got the crap kicked out of him when they put him in the prison cell. He was disappointed when it didn't happen. When everything goes wrong at the end and they're escaping and Hennessy is like, cut off the feed, cut it off. She didn't say anything to Ulrich. Ulrich then responded almost like it was like his wife. Guys, shut it up! Like his reactions to that especially though, like he was panicked that she was panicking. He was upset because she was upset. And when I think about that, and I think about the scene that you were referring to earlier, I wonder if he doesn't love her.
Oh, he loves her.
I mean, right? Just he loves her.
Yeah. He's.
There's never been a word spoken about it, clearly, but
Yeah, and she has no interest in the guy, but she knows he loves her. But she's good to him, I guess. She trusts him too, though. She never chastises him.
And he was in charge of taking Pachenko out to sabotage Statham's life.
So that's how you get good employees. You trust them.
Yeah, I'd say so.
No, but it's just these little moments, and that's another thing about Paul Anderson films where he does Resident Evil. He gets Mila, but then he gets Michelle Rodriguez. He gets Oded Fehr in his later films. He gets Ali Larter. He gets good names. The dude from Game of Thrones who's amazing, who's in the later Resident Evil movies. The other dude from Chernobyl. Jared Harris is in the Resident Evil movie. Paul Anderson, Sanaa Lathan in AVP. I think he just brings in good actors because he knows that makes his job that much easier. It's a smart move. And I think they add to these tiny moments, which I really dig. Now, I got a crazy question for you, John. Crazy question. There's a death, right? So there's a death race. And
well, I'm in it. It's my 200th death race.
Oh, wait, the internet's going down. But see, two of our episodes were bonus episodes. This is your 198th. I'm so sorry. They don't have numbers next. So you're stuck
release
with
papers now.
No, there is a death race. Who wins? We're sticking to the rules of this film.
Okay.
Speed from Speed Racer. Niki Lauda from Rush. James Hunt from Rush. Cole Trickle, Days of Thunder. Jimmy Bly, Driven. Joe Tanto, Driven. Ken Miles, Ford vs. Ferrari. Frankenstein, Death Race. And Machine Gun Joe from Death Race.
Okay, I'm honestly saying either Niki Lauda or James Hunt. They strike me.
I knew it.
They are just. Even though one is more instinctive and one is more intuitive, Lauda can get right in there and help work on that vehicle really well, right? And he's smart, he's methodical, his emotions don't come into play. I think he'd be cool under pressure when the shit's hitting the fan. Whereas your James Hunt, he's more reactive, but he still knows something about the cars. But he's more reactive. I think his charisma would help him survive also the downtime, if you will. Whereas, Speed, he's relying, he comes from a totally different kind of race with totally different kind of vehicles and no sense of danger.
Yeah.
It's safe.
And he's not a murderer. I got my money on Ken Miles, John, because he drove it. In the movie, they say he took a tank across, Africa and Europe during World War II. He's great with cars. He has that killer. He'll throw wrenches at things. He's good at mechanics. He's a good racer, and he survived World War II. So I'm going Ken Miles. I don't want to see any of them die. I think. Do you think Cole Trickle's going to last?
No. Well, first off, I think his attitude alone, he won't even survive his way to the race.
What about Bly or Tanto?
No, Bly. Oh God, Bly is.
Bly's done.
Forgive the statement, but Bly's going to be someone's bitch by lunch on the first day.
Tanto?
You know, I think Tanto would be smart enough to lay low, and he would become kind of like your coach.
Oh, good call.
I think that he'd go coach.
So one person. You have to pick one. So only one person from Rush can win.
Okay. I'm gonna say Niki Lauda. I think that's the more practical choice.
I'm going Ken Miles, but I like Niki Lauda. I just think Ken Miles because of the World War II. That's the one. I guess that's.
He's seen some hard times.
Yeah. So he kind of knows, and he's just super wily. And yeah, Lauda's all about safety. So I think he would prepare a very safe car. If a rocket hits from this angle, if the only way the rocket can blow this up is if it hits from a 17-degree angle and then knocks this out. But I don't know. But no, I that was fun. So I want to do something too. Rank these movies, John. This is our 6th racing film. I want you to rank them.
Is it me, or is it so appropriate that Death Race is the final lap because on their final lap they escaped the race?
Now we're done. Can you believe? So I remember when you pitched this to me. I can't believe we're done with our racing series, John.
Right. And we didn't necessarily just do racing pods every time we podded, right? We got other stuff in.
It's weird, right? We're done with our racing series. We did it.
Yeah. It had to happen at some point, man.
And we're moving on to Nose next. So that Nightmare on Elm Street next. So
a few of those. I've got a series in mind again, though. I've got a new series in mind, but I don't want to get into it until we get through.
Saw?
No. I don't mean a series of movies with all the sequels for all the franchise. I have an idea for another series like the race series.
Oh, I like it.
But I don't want to get into it. I don't want to say it and have listeners anticipate it and then wonder where the hell it is. You know, we've got a lot of stuff we want to do. And even when there's a team of 8 podcasters now for MFF, it's like you still never get to cover, even as the sum of us, right? You still don't get to cover all the things you'd want to cover.
Yeah.
So it's like, got to pick some battles. The race pod was one that, brimmed to the top. So, I'll package mine sometime mid-year, my next series idea. Unless you have one too, right? I don't know.
No, I'm up for anything, man. I like talking about what people are passionate about. It makes my job easier.
All right, so my rankings, and I made these rankings because I knew you were going to ask.
I already have your number 1 written, so you want to move on to number 2?
I made these rankings, and I want you to know that today, before we potted, I looked at them, and because it's a different day, no joke, my list I was totally confident in, I switched 3 things.
Oh, wow. But not your number 1.
Not my number 1. Mark, what's my number 1?
Rush.
Of course it is. Rush is just the best. It's the best one. Do you know what my number 2 is?
Oh man, I don't want to guess. I really don't know. It's that's what's funny. I don't know.
I'm going Driven.
Oh, Driven. Nice. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Today, I've done this before. I did this at least one other time when we were doing our rankings. I'm ranking purely on my emotional fun or elation while watching them. Or just emotional response. So Rush, Driven, Days of Thunder, Death Race,
Whoa.
Ford v Ferrari, which is 5th. It doesn't mean that I don't think Ford v Ferrari isn't wonderful. It's just, this is how I'm ranking it today.
Well, you're not saying best. You're saying
right. The bottom is not the worst. I'm just, this is just in the order of how I enjoyed them emotionally. So yeah, Rush, Driven, Days of Thunder, Death Race, Ford v Ferrari, Speed Racer.
You ready for my number 1?
Are you going to say Ford v Ferrari?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I really think Ford v Ferrari is a perfect movie. I think it's perfect. 2 is, my number 2.
Wait. Is it Rush or is it Speed Racer?
Rush.
Okay.
Rush all day. All right. So 3. Oh, this is tough. Okay. For movies that I would just put on, Death Race. Hour 40 minutes. 4, Speed Racer. I love it, but it's 2 hours and 15 minutes long. It's a slog. 5, Driven. Now, I've enjoyed all of these films, so don't think I'm saying what I hate the last. And 6, Days of Thunder. I've enjoyed all of these. Yeah. So if someone just said to you, Mark, which one do you want to put on right now? I'm like, Ford vs. Ferrari, immediately. And then what next? Rush. But yeah, so yeah, I mean that's what I like about this series, man. We're different on our rankings. That's what's fun.
You know what else though? Like if someone said, "Yo, John, which of these 6 movies do you want to put on?" and it was a Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m., it would be more like a Rush or a Ford v Ferrari.
Yeah.
If it was 8 p.m. on a Friday, it's more a death race.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like that can totally change what I want to see too.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All right.
Is a woman asking me? Is it a date? Oh,
Oh,
Rush.
you have a date, Rush. Oh, yeah.
Rush or Ford v Ferrari. But then I want to go with the powerful film, you know? Like it's so many. Did I meet her at a con? Oh, there's a good chance it's Speed Racer instead.
Meg's top 3. I asked her Ford v Ferrari, and then because she watched all these with me, she said Ford v Ferrari, Rush, and Death Race. Those are. I'm telling you, man. I had Death Race on. I like this movie. It was kind of fun to watch. But yeah, those are her top 3. Because listen, Ford v Ferrari I think is a perfect film, but it had a $100 million budget. Rush had a $35 million budget, and it looks beautiful. So
the lowest budget of all these movies.
Which movie do I respect the most? I would have to say Rush, given its $35 million budget.
Right.
But what's my favorite? It's Ford v Ferrari. And which one do I think is? I mean, Death Proof, $45 million, dude. They made this movie for $45 million. That's not much, if you come to think about it. And what I like about Death Proof too is, Oh, Death Race. Oh, Death Proof.
It's your love of Kurt Russell was just bleeding into this podcast.
Death Race is, I feel like you see every dollar on screen. So that dreadnought, when it wipes out.
Oh my God, it's so cool when it wipes out.
Badass. Like that, and you see the little CGI guys flying, and they trashed that truck. They destroyed that thing. They built only one of them, and that smacked into that. And
that moment made me think of some of the best wipeout moments in Fury Road.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're right. And that's what Anderson said on it. He loved Mad Max, so he put the dreadnought in it. And then it's kind of funny because obviously the Road Warriors, when you really get those big trucks in the film and the chase scenes, but you watch Fury Road and then you watch Death Race, and if you hadn't watched, you know what would blow my mind, John? Someone had never watched the second Mad Max 2. What's it? It's Mad Max.
No, it's the Road Warrior, and then it's Mad Max, and then it's Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome.
So you see that someone had never seen the second Mad Max, so they didn't see those big trucks. They're watching Mad Max Fury Road, and I just wish someone in the theater was like, they stole that from Death Race, because they look alike. Like it's a cool. I don't know. It's a good practical bit. I love when 14K gets blown up. They blew up cars in this, which I love, and you can tell they blew up cars. So I dig that. I even like the improv moment where the NASCAR driver gets killed, Travis Colt. I dig when he's like, sit on my lap, and everyone's like, what? And Natalie Martinez, and Case is like, what are you talking about? And then they throw that out and blow him up. I dig it.
The way that Ian McShane looks over his shoulder at the rest of the pit crew when he just hears that, get in my lap.
And Megan made me rewind to seeing that and see where Ian McShane does a sassy eyebrow raise. Like, that's why you hire Ian McShane, is for those sassy eyebrow raises, for those looks that he gives. No, I dig it. And, well, the one part, I want to talk to you about this. There's a scene where Jensen Ames, Frankenstein, wants to kill Pachenko. So instead of getting a shield, he gets an automatic weapon. And he puts his car in reverse, shoots Pachenko. But then he spins.
They're shooting at each other.
Yeah, they're shooting at each other. And he can't break his armor. But then he flips around and he puts smoke in Pachenko's face, in his car, and then Pachenko wipes out and then he kills Pachenko. But why did he need the guns? Did he need the guns to... What's the point of that scene?
Okay, so if I'm trying to rationalize this, I got two options. Either one, he thought the guns would work out a lot better than they did, but that's the boring answer, right? Two,
that's funny.
That engaged, baited, goaded Pachenko to stay right on him. That way, when he got the shield and immediately turned around, maybe he knew the shield was coming right before a turn. Maybe he did that again to force him to stay engaged instead of him trying to maneuver or do this, that, or the other. That would have been a risky long game, but maybe it was something like that. So that he'd definitely be close to him. And then he will have goaded him, because now it looks like Frank is retreating when he turns around, so he's going to keep staying on him to shoot, right? Then he throws out the smoke, then the turn comes, Pachenko's gone. Well,